Hey guys, Mr. Zern here with another video that only half of you are going to watch, and in the half that do watch it, you will only watch 50% of the video. So let's get started. All right, so we're working on the the guessing game here, and the directions talk about pulling out a couple things, and we talked about it in a previous lesson, but it's just kind of getting that layout. So I'm going to use this horizontal arrangement, and you'll see why in a moment, because they talk about you're going to need a text box. We'll actually need two text boxes and two buttons here and a bunch of labels. But let me bring out a text box and then a button. And, without using one of these horizontal arrangement pieces here, you're not going to be able to, kind of stack them up nice and neat next to each other or line them up. So I'm going to just, set my width to, hey, fill the parent, and I'm going to drop my text box in there and drop my button in there. And I'm going to affect change the width there, 50%. Excellent. And I'm going to change the button to 50%. And there we go. All right, great. So a couple things that we need to do. One, we've got to label these things because this is definitely a multi-day assignment, and you are not going to remember tomorrow or later or over a weekend, even if you work on it on Friday, then come back to it on Monday, what, text box one does, what button one does, what button two does. So you're going to want to have these things all kind of labeled out. I'm going to bring out a second arrangement, do the same thing here, fill the parent. I'm going to bring out another text box. I'm going to bring out another button here, again, kind of stacking them next to each other, kind of again, go with that width, 50%. There we go. And the button, 50%. Okay. And again, right now they're still not labeled, and that's probably not a great practice to get into. I'm going to bring out yet another horizontal arrangement here, and I'll stick that there. And I'm going to yet again just kind of do this fill parent, and I'm going to bring out three labels. So one, two, and three. And I want them to kind of, again, fill that space. So I've got three objects in there. And so probably for the width, I'll go with 33% with 33%, and then one more with 33%. And you can even get a little more creative there. Like I might take the center one and center the text. And then maybe on this right one, I'll do, right, line it right. Now notice it's going off the screen there, but that's okay. You're going to want to check it on your tablet. As long as it looks good on your tablet, you're good to go. All right, so I still haven't labeled anything, so this is just kind of a mess of stuff that's going on. So I'm going to need a couple labels. The directions will kind of talk about this. I need a win-lose label. I need a guesses left label, and I need a lower higher label. So I'm going to start with guesses. Well, I'm going to do this label, and hold on. There we go. Guesses left. So I've got a label, guesses left. And this second label here in the middle, I'm going to rename that, and I'll keep it label. And I'm going to call it higher, lower. Oh, I can't use the backslash. My bad. Higher, lower. And then this final one is going to be a win-lose label. So again, label, and we'll call it win-lose. Excellent. Okay. So again, think about it in the game. So what's going to happen here is a person is going to enter the secret number. So I'm going to call that text box, and then we'll say secret number. So that's where we're going to enter. So in this text box, a person would enter the secret number. Excellent. Then this button here is going to kind of confirm the secret number. So we'll call it button secret number. All right, great. And then up here, we're going to have where a person's going to guess the secret number. So for that text box, um, secret, we'll call it text box guess. That'll work. And the button, rename, button, yes. Okay. So again, just trying to help me, you know, when I get to the coding for this to make a little bit more sense. It'll be a lot easier to code as opposed to just looking at label one, label two, label three. I'll be able to look at, okay, that's the label that's telling me how many guesses I have left. That's the label that's telling me to guess higher or lower. That's the guess text box. That's the button, that's interacting with that text box. There's my secret number text box. There's the button that's kind of working with that for the secret number. So kind of laying those things out. And again, once I get the app functioning, I'm gonna spend a lot more time on getting the layout and all that. Hopefully you watched my video highlighting the finished product. Okay, so let me come over to blocks, and we've got like kind of a dreaded blank screen. And so using natural language, just what do we want to happen? Well, all right, so a person's going to put in a secret number in this secret number text box, and then they're going to press enter. Well, what happens when we press enter? Well, that secret number in the text box is going to be stored as a global variable. So ultimately, we actually need a couple global variables. We're going to have a guesses remaining global variable, and we'll deal with that later. And then we need a secret number. So we'll talk about that now. So I'm going to come up here and go to variable, and I'm going to just initialize to. And again, don't leave it as name. That's probably terrible. So what is this? Well, one's going to be guesses left. So all right, great. And let me bring out another one. And I need to initialize the other one. And that is going to be my secret number variable. All right. So what is it going to be set to? Well, we've got to set it to something, or we're probably going to have some errors. And there's a couple ways you could do it. I mean, you could just, there we go, secret number set to 0. Guesses left. Let me grab another math block. And we could set that to whatever. I'm going to set it to 10 because they're going to have 10 guesses to figure that out. So I've kind of initialized my two variables, and that's what they're talking about. Initially, they suggest you set it to 55 so we can sort of do some testing. So all right, we can do that. We'll set it to 55 so we know how to do some testing. All right, so 10 guesses and 55. Next, they're talking about a local variable. A local variable, if you remember, the local variable only works inside of the event handler. And we've been doing a lot of work with that. So, all right, so here things we need to pull out the guess button, and we're going to initialize this local variable, and then how's that going to be set up? Well, with the guess input text. Okay, so let's do that. So let me go here to my buttons. You can start to see why it's important to have those buttons labeled. So I'm going to do with secret number button clicked. Great. And we're going to declare a local variable. You could do a global variable too. The directions don't talk about doing that, but you could totally do it that way as well. All right. So initialize local variable, and the name there, I'm going to give it a name. Just leaving it as name is terrible. So I'm going to call it, number guess. So this is like the number that the person is guessing. All right, number guess. To what? Now you could, set in a piece there and test it. Like I could shove in a math block, and say 0. But obviously that's the user, it needs to be able to enter the number that I'm going to set as the number guess there. Right? Am I doing that? Yeah. So guess button. Oh, I had the wrong button there. That I'm looking at a second time here. So guess button. Let's shove that in there. I have the wrong one. We'll just delete that for now. My bad. Sorry. The button guess. Okay. So the number guess. So what we want to do here is take this text box, and I'm just going to pull out this first one, and I'm going to change it to text. All right, now something's going to happen here. So basically, when I click the button, whatever number I entered will basically be stored as the numbered guessed, okay? All right, so now we need to basically compare. So think about what we want to happen. There are 3 options of what could happen. So a person enters a number, and it either matches the secret number, it's either lower than the secret number, or it's higher than the secret number. And so we need to kind of put that together here. So we're going to use some conditional statements. And for the moment, I'll just use this if then statement. And think about this. I want to compare to. So I'm going to grab a math, and I'm going to say equals. So if what is equal to what? All right, so again, variables here. So if the secret number is equal to the number guessed, Do what? Well, I want it to print something. And I need to grab out a couple things here. So we could grab out this, pull out this higher, lower label, and I'm going to set that to text and say, hey, higher, lower label. And I could have it say, all kinds of things. There's a couple ways. The directions are going to kind of walk you through some of this. Oh, get in there. There we go. Well, what would happen? What would it say? Well, it would say win. I probably though want to use the win label for that. So, and again, there's lots of ways to do it. And we could have it say a couple things. That's right. You know, you win. All right. Well, what are some other options that could happen? Well, another option, and you could copy paste, or I could grab another control block, is, and again, let's go to math. So it could be less than or it could be greater than. So let's pull this out and go to less than. And so again, I can just kind of copy paste and copy paste. And we could kind of, so if the secret number is less than the number guessed, well, what should it say? Not going to say that's right, that's for sure. So the secret number is less than the number guessed. So I need to say guess lower. All right, and you can start to see how that'll start to take effect here. So let's again, before I get too far, I typically start to test things here. And let me do that with my tablet as well and just kind of see like, hey, is this thing working or not? Some people kind of go through, they code the entire program and something's not working in the first step, but they don't know that and they just keep going. And then it's really, really difficult to troubleshoot the program. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to guess. I know the secret number is 55, and I'm going to put in mine is, let's see here. Let me see 45 and hit enter. Doesn't do anything. All right, good. Let's say 75 and says, yep, that time it works. It says guess lower. And this time I'm going to say 55 and hit the button. And it says that's right. So again, you want to like it's kind of get to a certain point there where you can test it and like, is it working? Eventually we're going to set up the other one so that the secret, the text box there, when you hit the secret number button, will change the secret number to whatever you're using. All right, guys. So hopefully that's just enough to get you started. Again, utilize the directions. They're here, and not just flipping, scrolling through as quickly as you can to the next picture, but actually reading what's there, and it's going to make a big difference. Some of the stuff here, obviously, there's career connection and just distant learning parts that you can skip here, but they really kind of walk you through. And if you're just thinking about what you're trying to do, I think it'll make a lot of sense. All right, so I will talk to you guys later.